Hey guys, Hidden Truths here. Welcome to this new video with a bunch of new stories. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers and I think we can do it with your help. So please subscribe. It would honestly mean a lot to me. Now, let's get right into the stories.
The first alert came in at 1:03 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was half asleep, phone buzzing face down on my nightstand. Normally I'd ignore it, but the vibration was longer than a text and my brain, foggy as it was, still recognized the app icon, tollway notification. I thumbed it open. Toll charge, $6. 25, location, Richmond San Rafael Bridge. Timestamp, 1:03 a.m. Vehicle, Toyota Prius, plate ending in 39L. I blinked hard. The bridge was 20 miles west of here, heading toward Marin. My Prius, the one we lovingly call the Prius Minus, thanks to its dented rear bumper and scuffed paint, was parked outside. Or at least, I thought it was. I rolled out of bed as quietly as I could, easing the door shut behind me so I wouldn't wake Talia or Nate. Slid on my slides, padded out front. No Prius. Just the ghost markings on the curb where its tires usually sat. I stood there a long second in the soft sodium yellow of the streetlight, hands on hips, heart doing a weird syncopation. Maybe it got towed. No. I hadn't parked wrong. And we weren't behind on payments. So where was it? At 7:13 a.m. I sat with my lukewarm mug of instant coffee and pulled up the Ring app. I scrolled back through the feed and found it, 12:41 a.m. The Prius headlights flicked on, soft glow illuminating the driveway like a stage cue. Then it backed out, smoothly. Not stolen. No broken glass, no alarms. I tapped the clip and watched it again. Same thing. That car left like it belonged to whoever was driving it. I walked down the hall and peeked into Nate's room. Still asleep, socked foot sticking out from under his dinosaur sheets. The smell of oatmeal drifted from the kitchen, Talia, doing breakfast duty. My stomach twisted. I opened CarPlay history next. Just to check. A recent connection, iPhone, Rose iPhone. That name. It took me a minute to place it. Aaron Rowe. Talia's new team lead. I remembered her saying his name the week before in a casually breezy voice while she packed Nate's lunch. Said he knew a good client-side CMS and could debug without making people feel dumb. That kind of praise, faint and practiced. Okay. Facts first. Stories later. I didn't confront her that morning. I helped Nate find his missing shoe, added Cheerios to the oatmeal when he complained it was too healthy, and kissed Talia goodbye like I always did, her lips barely brushing mine. On my break at work, I checked our shared email. A gas station receipt had come through at 1:26 a.m., Chevron in zip code 94901. That's San Rafael. I googled the address. It was 4 blocks from Aaron Rowe's apartment building. I remembered because Talia had shown me photos from their team offsite last month. Someone tagged the location. I'd clicked on it. I remember these things. Later, while Nate watched Bluey on the tablet and Talia folded laundry, I checked her Venmo. The most recent transaction. To A. Rowe. Note, late night latte. The emoji. That detail. The playfulness of it, like a wink in code. But again, no accusations. No late-night shouting matches or passive-aggressive silence. I just wrote it down in the Notes app. 12:41 a.m. Prius leaves. 1:03 a.m. Toll charge, RSR Bridge. 1:26 a.m. Gas receipt, San Rafael. CarPlay sync, Rose iPhone. Venmo, late night latte, A. Rowe. Talia laughed at something on her phone that evening. Not at me. Not with me. I watched her thumb scroll, the light making little shadows on her cheekbones. At 10:11 p.m., she said she was tired and headed to bed. I waited 15 minutes, then walked outside to stand by the curb. The Prius was back in its usual spot. Same scuffed bumper. Same leaf caught in the grill. Same scent of stale fries in the cabin. Everything where it was supposed to be. Except it wasn't. I don't know why I clicked open the Chevron receipt again before bed. Maybe I hoped I'd imagined the zip code. But I hadn't. And when I looked again at the time, 1:26 a.m., and cross-referenced the bridge toll at 1:03, I noticed something else: the drive was too short. Which means either the gas station was the destination. Or it wasn't the last stop. I lay there in bed beside her later, the hum of Nate's sound machine pulsing through the baby monitor. She slept easily. I didn't. The numbers wouldn't leave me alone. And one quiet phrase kept surfacing over and over. Subtract what hurts. Keep what helps. Wednesday morning, I made Nate his usual scrambled eggs with ketchup swirled in a spiral, just the way he liked. Talia walked in wearing her oatmeal blazer, the one she usually reserved for client pitches. I didn't say anything. I just sipped my coffee and told Nate to grab his sneakers. We were running behind for drop-off. Traffic was light on the 680. Nate sang to the radio, something about a dinosaur dance. I smiled. It was easy to smile with him in the car. That's the thing about little kids, they keep you grounded in whatever is instead of what might be. I clocked into the help desk right at 9. Reset a few passwords. Resolved an Outlook sync issue for a guy in marketing who always sounded like he was eating chips while talking. I kept everything moving like normal because that's what I needed, normal. But every free moment, my brain looped through it all again. Toll charge. Gas receipt. CarPlay sync. Venmo latte. Ring camera. Aaron Rowe. That night, after Nate's bedtime stories, 2, not 3, I was tired. I stayed up alone and opened a Google Doc titled Thursday. No one would think twice about it in my drive. I listed everything in simple bullet points. No conclusions, no theories. Just timestamps, names, and locations. It felt clinical. Safer. Talia came out of the shower while I was still at the kitchen table. She gave me a sideways glance. "You working late?" she asked. "Just finishing some stuff," I said without turning. She lingered in the doorway, like she had something else to say. Then turned and padded to the bedroom. I waited until the door clicked before I reopened the file. Next item, the Ring cam. I exported the video and backed it up. Then I opened the Find My app. Talia and I had shared locations for years. It started as a safety thing after Nate was born. I'd check her ETA when she picked him up from preschool or text her if traffic looked bad. But now her notifications were off. Notify on arrival used to ping me automatically when she got home. It hadn't in days. Maybe a glitch. Or maybe intentional. I didn't change anything on her end. I just re-enabled my own alert settings. Boundaries for me, not surveillance of her. Then came the charger. Thursday evening, I ran into Mr. Delaney from 2 doors down while taking out the recycling. He's the kind of guy who knows everyone's trash schedule and still waves even when he's carrying cat litter. "Hey Jordan," he said, lowering his voice, "did your wife find that charger okay the other night?" I blinked. "What night was that?" He scratched his cheek. Real late Monday night? Or early Tuesday, I guess. She texted me around 1 a.m., said she needed the backup battery we used for camping. I left it by your mailbox. I nodded slowly. Right, yeah. She mentioned that. He smiled. Glad it helped. I thanked him, went inside, and added it to the dock. Borrowed neighbor's charger at 1 a.m. Tuesday. Matches toll timestamp. Now the picture was clearer. She didn't just leave the house, she planned to. Quietly. Thoroughly. Which made me realize, there was one more thing I hadn't checked. The Prius dashcam. I don't usually touch it. It's mostly for insurance, not sleuthing. But the SD card was still in the slot. I popped it out, slid it into my laptop, and scrolled to the early Tuesday footage. The recording picked up right away, 12:42 a.m., curbside. Interior view. Passenger door opens. A coffee cup lands in the center holder, brown lid, one of those indie shop sleeves. A chuckle. Then two silhouettes slide in, driver side and passenger. The cabin fills with soft laughter. Her voice, low and familiar, said, "Okay, you're officially a bad influence." Then his voice, not as familiar, but I knew the tone, casual, intimate. "You'll live. You did the hard part." They sat in the car for a beat. No rush. Just, comfort. The camera shook as they pulled away. I stopped the clip. I didn't need more. That moment said plenty. I didn't cry, or throw things, or spiral. I just felt hollow, like a fridge light that flicks on in an empty room. So this is what subtraction feels like. But under the blankness was something else, steadiness. I wasn't trapped. I could name what I saw. I could plan what came next. Not revenge. Not chaos. Just forward. That night, I sat in the Prius alone. It smelled faintly of vanilla and old fries. I stared at the empty cup holder. Tomorrow, I'd make a call to my sister. Ask if she could take Nate for the weekend. I'd frame it like, just needing a little help. Then I'd talk to Talia. Calmly. Facts first. Stories later. Saturday afternoon. Nate was at my sister's, busy with Legos and no idea that anything was different. That was the goal. Keep it boring. Keep it safe. I set the dining table, not for a meal, just for space. No distractions. No background noise. Just 2 glasses of water and a list of facts I'd printed out from my doc. The dashcam SD card was sitting in a little envelope by my elbow. I didn't plan to play it unless I had to. Talia walked in from the bedroom and froze when she saw the table. "Can we sit?" I asked. Calm voice. No sharp edges. Her eyes scanned the setup. "Is this, about something?" "It is." I gestured to the chair across from me. "Just need a clear conversation." She hesitated, then sat. For a second, neither of us spoke. I could feel the dishwasher hum from the next room, the soft tick of the wall clock, her inhale like a shield going up. I slid the printout forward. "These are just details. Not accusations. Timestamps. Messages. Car data." She scanned the page. When her finger landed on the Venmo line, she let out a long exhale. "Not surprised, just exposed." "I wanted to say it before you brought it up," she said quietly. "You didn't." "I didn't know how." Her hands folded, then unfolded. She reached for the glass of water but didn't drink. "I'm not going to make a scene," I said. "But I need clarity. For Nate, for me. This doesn't have to be war. But it has to be honest." She nodded, jaw tight. "It started, as rides home," she said. "After team dinners. I didn't think it was anything. And then it was happy hour. Then coffee. Then just, being seen. I didn't flinch. I just listened. It wasn't supposed to be anything," she continued. "But I was tired all the time, and he noticed. He asked how I was sleeping. No one asks me that anymore. It felt small, but big. And you took the car Monday night. I told you I was going to bed, then waited for you to fall asleep. I borrowed the charger from Delaney because my phone was dying, and I didn't want to get stranded. Did you stay at his place? Her lips parted, closed again. She nodded once. I didn't say anything. I know what this makes me, she said. No, I said. It's not about names. It's about next steps. She looked up at that. Maybe expecting anger. Instead, she got logistics. We need some space, I said. Starting now. Separate rooms. I'll sleep on the couch until we work out something longer term. I'm not pulling Nate into this storm. Talia nodded slowly. Okay. You'll talk to HR. Yes. Monday. No more contact with him outside of what you're required to finish projects. No meetings alone. And I want us to set a parenting schedule. Talia looked like she'd been bracing for impact but got paperwork instead. I started a shared doc, I added. Budget splits. Daycare arrangements. Passwords. I'll keep the Prius for now, Nate's car seat's already in it. And, counseling. Already pulled up intake forms. We don't have to decide if we're staying married today. But we do have to show up. Together or separately. There was a long pause. You're not yelling, she said finally. Does yelling ever help? She smiled, but it was faint. Tired. I'm sorry, she said. Not just for the thing itself, but for how far I let it go before I said anything. I nodded. That was all I could do. Later that night, I still drove. Habit, I guess. I picked up a few short rides, one guy heading to the grocery store for late-night milk, a couple too drunk to remember where they lived, a college kid who tipped in cash and said, "Thanks, man. You got chill energy." Freeway was smooth. Podcasts low. I kept the windows cracked, let the air in. The city shimmered quietly, gas stations blinking, streetlights casting long shadows, brake lights glowing like soft red pulses. I could have stayed home. Curled up in the dark and let the silence win. But this was better. Moving. Not running, moving. Subtract what hurts. Keep what helps. When I got home around midnight, Talia was asleep in Nate's room, curled beside him, one hand on his back like she needed the anchor. I watched for a moment. Then I turned off the hallway light, pulled the blanket off the couch, and settled in for the night. Alone, but not adrift. We didn't split up with fireworks or yelling or slammed doors. Just scheduled calls, printed forms, and a shared calendar full of color-coded blocks for Nate time. In mediation, they asked us what kind of holidays we wanted, and neither of us fought for Thanksgiving. We just picked dates that worked and agreed to alternate each year. It was civil. Not warm, not hostile, just math. We landed on a 60-40 schedule, with Nate sleeping at my place most school nights since I lived closer to the daycare. Saturday mornings were Talia's. We did drop-offs through a group text, no long messages, no late-night spirals. Everything said in plain language. Jordan, Nate's got the library tote packed. His green hoodie's in the front pocket. Talia, got it. I'll bring it back Monday. Thanks. Jordan, okay. Our old friends split in a quiet drift, some leaned toward her, a few checked in on me, but most just faded into digital silence. I didn't take it personally. People don't know how to sit next to you when you're not falling apart. And I wasn't. I just didn't want to perform pain for likes. Instead, I focused on the small stuff. Rituals. Nate and I made pancakes every Tuesday night, banana slices for wheels, blueberries for headlights. We went to the car wash on Saturdays and called it a Prius adventure, even though it was just soap, foam, and a $5 air freshener. He loved it. I did too. Talia stopped seeing Aaron after 3 more weeks. I only knew because she mentioned, in a sideways kind of way, that it wasn't going anywhere healthy. That was all I needed. I didn't press. If anything sketchy ever touched Nate's world, I'd step in, but that wasn't the case. She'd been the one to end it. Apparently, once the secrecy faded, so did the charm. He didn't like boundaries. Didn't like being questioned. That told me everything I needed to know. But I stayed out of it. She was doing her own subtraction. Financially, things were tight, but not drowning. I sold a few gadgets I didn't use anymore, 2 cameras, an old iPad, a custom-built PC I hadn't touched in a year. It paid off one of the smaller credit cards. That felt good. Clean. My nights behind the wheel became a kind of therapy. I didn't chase bonuses anymore. I just took enough rides to make a little extra for Nate's school fund. Sometimes I'd park by the overlook after my last fare and sit there a few minutes, engine off, city lights blinking below like a lazy constellation. The quiet didn't scare me like it used to. In fact, it was kind of beautiful. One Thursday, I picked Nate up early and we went to get his hair cut. On the drive home, he asked from the back seat, "Dad, how come we have 2 houses now?" I glanced at him through the mirror. He wasn't upset, just curious. "Well," I said slowly, "sometimes grown-ups stop being good teammates in the same house. But they can still be good teammates as parents." He nodded. "So you and Mom are still on my team?" "All the way." He looked out the window. "Good. 'Cause I want both of you at my next swim day." "You got it." I pulled into our driveway. He unbuckled himself with one hand and grabbed his little canvas bag with the other. As he walked toward the door, he turned back. "Also, can I get pancakes tonight?" "Of course," I said. "It's Tuesday somewhere." He grinned and ran inside. That night, after he fell asleep, I stood outside next to the Prius. The dented bumper caught the porch light just right, still scuffed, still unpainted. The nickname stuck. I'd even labeled the Wi-Fi Prius-guest without thinking twice. I used to look at that car and see what we couldn't afford to fix. Now I saw what had stayed reliable. The miles I'd driven. The safety seat in the back. The dumb little cassette adapter that still connected my phone when Bluetooth refused. It wasn't perfect. But it was mine. And it worked. So did I. Some nights, that's all the math you need. Subtract the damage. Subtract the weight you carried out of obligation, guilt, or fear. Subtract what doesn't feed you, love you, or return your effort. And what's left? Space. Breath. Room for pancakes, for Ring camera alerts that don't raise your pulse, for long freeway drives with nothing urgent in the rearview. Sometimes the minus is the math that gets you back to 0.